And now, live from the Squared Circle Studios in Wausau, Wisconsin, it's the Squared Circle Podcast. And here are your hosts, Nate, the effing great, Spencer Hart, and the Squared Circle Podcast heavyweight champion, Max Beatty. Alright, so here we're back on the Squared Circle Podcast. Not quite sure what happened there. The computer went a little wonky on us. And so we're back here, still talking about the Hall of Fame. Nate, you were making a case about Christian right before we cut out. And I agree with you. Christian, here's the thing. Here's how I think Christian should be inducted. I think that he should be inducted, but the Ed should be the person that should be the one that inducts him.
Obviously,
that's easy for me. I think, I think towards the end of his career it was a little but I really enjoyed Christian. I think he did make a strong case for a Hall of Fame slot. So I think I agree. I think Christian should be on the class this year. Also on the class, they should have done this last year, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. It was a little too late. This year, the celebrity inductee should be Lemmy from, what's the name of the band?
Motorhead.
Thank you, Motorhead. The one that does Triple H's music. Definitely should be inducted this year. All the manpower, all the hours they put in to making music for Triple H and really WWE in general. I think Lemmy really did put a lot of his career on hold for WWE, and I think that Trips should be the one that inducts him.
I definitely agree with that. Another case I can make for the Celebrity Hall of Fame is Andy Kaufman. A lot of people remember him as one of the guys who got the shit beat out of him by Jerry the King Lawler, but this was a guy who really loved wrestling. He never had anything bad to say about wrestling. He's a fan of wrestling, and as a heel, he did just a great job getting massive heat, and having him be inducted by Jerry Lawler, oh, buddy, that would actually be pretty amazing. I could see Andy Kaufman just coming in, just like doing like that little like mockery, like the thing where he's like, put him up. And Jerry just does the same thing. He's like, yeah, and then they just do like a little hug thing where it's like, oh, okay, at least they're still friends. And then Jerry Lawler just pile drives his ass again.
Yeah, so I think that's a pretty good lineup. I really don't have anybody else. The Rock, Christian, you've got Andy Kaufman, I've got Lemmy. Of course, DDP and Rick Rude being inducted in this year. That seems like a pretty good card to me.
Well, pretty good list. It's not a wrestling show. Remember that. The Hall of Fame.
It's a collection of people that really deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. So before we go, I want to make it. We're a couple weeks out, and all the rumors are now starting to fly about the Royal Rumble. Give me one crazy early prediction for the Royal Rumble that you think could happen.
Crazy prediction for Royal Rumble. I see freaking Kenny Omega making his debut in the Royal Rumble. Very likely not going to happen, but he comes in and he just
the same thing about AJ though.
Well, AJ I think was more likely because there comes a point where I think they're going to throw a good amount. They were going to throw a good amount of money at AJ, and he's just like, okay, I think I can give it a shot. Mm-hmm. I think that with Kenny Omega, though, he's going to be one of those guys that would be very tough to really get. He's doing so well in New Japan, and I think that, have him transition from New Japan maybe to Ring of Honor, that would be kind of cool, just so that people know a little bit more of what he's like. But if he's content on, staying in New Japan, hey, totally fine with that. Mm-hmm. Kenny Omega, you and Okada at Wrestle Kingdom this past year. Yeah, buddy. 6 out of 5 stars for a reason.
That match was, oh my God. I watched that entire match on Monday at work. And, oh my God. That spot where Okada's on the outside, and Omega just comes diving over the ropes, like over the barricade. Oh, oh my God. It was just insane. We should have done an entire show on that match alone. And I think we still should. I think we should cover Wrestle Kingdom. Because that match, that entire pay-per-view. Cody Rhodes making his debut in New Japan. The American Nightmare.
Bullet Club.
Bullet Club for life, baby. I think Cody's got something good going in his life right now. And we should seriously look up, see if we can get him in the show. That would be gold.
Oh, yeah. Boy.
So, you've got Kenny Omega entering in the Royal Rumble. It's not so much a crazy prediction, but you and I discussed it with Undertaker entering the Royal Rumble. I think this is going to set up a farewell tour for Taker. I think what's going to happen, Cena's going to win the belt at Royal Rumble from AJ. Taker's going to win the Rumble. They're going to meet at WrestleMania for the WWE title match. Taker's going to win the next night on Raw, or even the next day on SmackDown. He's going to retire with the belt. That's my crazy prediction. That's what I think is the best case scenario of how to send Taker out. You know, you took away his streak. You took away a lot of things from him. Give the man one more notch on the championship belt reign. And just have him retire the day after he wins it. Nobody's going to complain. It'll set up a tournament for a new champion. And hell, AJ could win it back. But the man, I think if you want him to retire this year, the man needs to retire as champion. That's my
opinion. I think that it would be kind of cool to see that. But
it would be tough to do. I know.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it would probably be too predictable to do that. But the believability factor might come into play, and I think there's other people in there that definitely deserve that spot. I think you can honestly make the case of having Undertaker just be thrown in there in the title picture of WrestleMania because it's the Undertaker, and he deserves it probably more than anybody. He doesn't need the Royal Rumble win to make that case. He's already one of those guys who definitely can do it without having to do that much of anything. So, yeah, I know that you're high on Undertaker. I'm sticking to what my early predictions are, and that's, Sami Zayn as my number one, Finn Balor as number two. I would go into my third one, and that being, having Goldberg win the Royal Rumble. Just give him that, final hoorah to battle for the title. And maybe they could do the same thing they did with the Undertaker, where, like you said, he comes out and retires the next night because, honestly, I think I'd much rather see Goldberg leave on a high note. I know that they are actually not doing. It seems like they're not going to, but it definitely seems like they're not going to do Lesnar and Goldberg at WrestleMania this year, because early rumors have broken out that the rematch between Goldberg and Lesnar is actually going to be happening at Fastlane. Actually,
really?
Yeah, they kind of spoiled it a little bit, and I'm thinking, you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them not, stinking up the joint again. No offense to Goldberg and Lesnar, but hey, you have to realize that last time that they locked horns at WrestleMania didn't exactly go so well. So let's just keep that matchup there and just have, Goldberg and Lesnar have great matches going into WrestleMania. Maybe they have, Lesnar versus Reigns, non-title, because I think the main title match that should happen at WrestleMania should be either I had two major predictions on this, and that being, a triple threat match between Sami Zayn, Finn Balor, and Kevin Owens for the Universal title, or having AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. And AJ actually said it best, is that if you want to match the Okada-Kenny Omega match at Wrestle Kingdom 11, I think the only match that would really probably match that as far as, star-wise, as far as wrestling-wise, you have to throw in Styles and Finn Balor at WrestleMania. I think there's nothing else that could possibly do it. And throw in the WWE title, I'd be totally happy with that. I think that it'd be one of those things where, hey, we get the possibility of Finn Balor getting added as a WWE champion. I'm totally okay with that.
Right. And I'll say this, as a caveat to my prediction, if John Cena does not win the title, my prediction then is Chris Jericho to win the Royal Rumble.
I could see that happening.
Because if unless I'm drunk, they start setting up the Kevin Owens Chris Jericho feud. Because it's going to happen sooner or later. Chris is going to be leaving after WrestleMania to go back on tour with Fozzy. God, I hope he comes back after that. Yeah.
I think that, what I really want to see, the fact that they have not, done this in so long, that's one of the reasons why I was very high on Sami Zayn and I'm high on Finn Balor winning, is because they have not yet done a deal in which the Royal Rumble has gone on to win the Rumble and then gone on to win the title at, WrestleMania. And that's kind of one of those things where it's like, you just went through all of this just to get basically shafted. I mean, the last person that actually won the title after winning the Rumble was John Cena. Surprise, surprise, at WrestleMania 29. Because you can't count Triple H, because he won the match, but he also won the title at the same night. And then he lost to Roman Reigns on that occasion, which I want to say the matchup sucked between Triple H and Roman Reigns. But I look back at all the buildup that they did with Roman Reigns, and I thought to myself, I really hate the fact that I was shitting on him during that buildup, because he did awesome.
He did.
He was just amazing, and from then on was just great. He did hit a bump in the road with the whole, wellness violation. I think still some people are very bitter about that. I know that a lot of people that we know are still thinking it's still too soon to put the title back on. He hasn't really held the title for a while. It's the Universal title. I think having Reigns be the Universal Champion would be kind of nice. I think it'd be a nice change-up. But at the same time, I could see them going into a pure, NXT standpoint where they're just like, only have guys who went through NXT recently win the title. And that's why I'm so heavy on Sami Zayn winning so badly, because I would love to see – I want to see El Generico versus Prince Devitt versus Kevin Steen at WrestleMania. If you're going to call me crazy for that, I am crazy, but I'm a dreamer, damn it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Royal Rumble. It's my favorite pay-per-view of the year. And really, it showcases a lot of talent at once. If you're good at keeping up on that, it's a lot of fun, and that's why I love the Royal Rumble. So, any final thoughts heading into Raw and SmackDown next week?
I think that it's going to be Can't Watch Miss TV. But before we head off, I want I uploaded this on my Facebook, and I think I'll probably get it on our fan page, Evolve Productions 316, for those of you that are looking into it. There's just this funny video of The Miz talking to this little kid, basically trying to be like one of his top, I think, 10 or top 5 favorite wrestlers. And it's just so funny because Miz is just saying, like, okay, your first favorite is Roman Reigns. Who's your second favorite? John Cena. And he just keeps going down the line. It's like this kid goes from, like, to John Cena to Randy Orton, and then he puts Zack Ryder at number 4. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, that's got to suck for Miz. And then Miz is just about to say, who's your 5th favorite? The kid just pats him on the shoulder. And he says, just to let you know, you're at the bottom of my list. I'm like, oh, this kid. That was just awesome.
Amazing. We'll have to throw that video up on our Facebook page because I've seen that too, and I really enjoyed that video. So,
poor Miz got shafted.
So that's going to do it for the Squared Circle podcast here at Spreaker.com, iTunesPlayer.fm, PodDirectory.com, Stitcher.com, CastBox.fm, the Satchel Player app for your iPhone and Androids. Also on IWNerd.com and WrestleWorld.uk. Max will be back next week to help us get ready for the Royal Rumble. We'll make our predictions.
That's right.